Hey everybody, off the Mike Sports Network here. We're doing a little bit more college basketball content as it's Selection Sunday is coming right up. It's right here, one of my favorite days of the year. And then you obviously have the Thursday and Friday before of the first round, which is always fun. But this is going to be a very interesting tournament because the SEC is as dominant as they've ever been. They're going to get 13 or 14 teams in. And, Auburn's going to be the number one overall seed. You got Duke and Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag is injured. And obviously, Duke gets through the ACC tournament, wins the regular season and conference tournament, losing only one game in the ACC all year. And they didn't have Cooper Flag for basically the entire ACC tournament, which is remarkable. But people are wondering, okay, who to pick in your bracket and who to root for. Well, I'll tell you who to root for. Root for St. John's. Root for St. John's. This is America's team, everybody. St. John's won the Big East regular season and conference tournament. First time since 2000 that this team has been at that level. They go 30-4 to finish the season. They haven't lost since February. They haven't lost in a month, which is freaking insane. They have February 12th. To Villanova by 2 points. That's the last time they lost. They've won 9 consecutive games. They win 82-66 at the Garden over Creighton in the Big East Championship. And Rick Pitino, man, we talk about the modern days of college basketball and NIL and the transfer portal are just running guys and the Titans and the big guys Roy Williams, Coach K. Tony Bennett's a relatively younger guy, Jay Wright at Villanova. And they just ran off his successor, Kyle Neptune. So, you have all of these bigger name guys who are up there closer in age. Jim Larinaga is another example at Miami, and they went the complete other way and hired, John Shire's assistant at Duke. But Rick Pitino's in his 70s, man. This guy has been through a lot of things. Went through an extortion thing at Louisville. It ended up costing him some wins in a national championship there. He won at Kentucky. He won at Providence. He went to the NBA and it didn't work out with the Celtics, which, it didn't work out. But he goes to Iona, a small college in New York, and is able to win games, get the team to the tournament, and be kind of a dangerous team. Now he's at St. John's, which is a proud basketball institution in New York City, plays at the Garden a bunch of games during the season, and he has injected life and made this one of the most intriguing basketball teams in New York City outside of the Knicks. I have not seen energy in the Garden like I did for the St. John's team. And it's going to be very interesting to see the draw that they get. I think they will be a 2 seed. My guy, Aaron Torres, if you guys follow his podcast, I've known Aaron for close to a decade. He's one of the deans of college basketball in my eyes. This guy talked this thing into existence about having Rick Pitino coach St. John's. This is one of the great coaching jobs I've ever seen in my existence, to take a team that hadn't won at this level to win the Big East Conference and, regular season and conference title. You win 30 games, you win your last 9, and this could be a Final Four team. So if you are looking for a team to pick in your bracket, depending on match, I would pick St. John's. This team was impressive as hell. I've only caught them a couple times this year. Creighton's a good team, and they beat them by 16 points. When this team's making shots, it's almost impossible to beat this team. They've got talent all over the place. It's really insane, and they've got one of the great coaches in the history of this game at the top of his game in his 70s. When all the other coaches are dropping like flies at his age, he's taking advantage of the transfer portal era and taking a big-time basketball institution in St. John's back to the promised land. I really think that this is one of the great stories in college basketball. Everybody's going to talk about the SEC. Everybody's going to talk about Duke and Cooper Flag. This is America's team, everybody. If you're looking for somebody to root for, you are rooting for Rick Pitino and the St. John's Red Storm. The Johnnies, this, like I said, this is such a fun team to watch. And just having New York City, just a big market behind them. This is a dream potentially for, college basketball, to have Rick Pitino in a big time spot, because they just missed the tournament last year. And here they are, 30-win team, win the Big East, do all the crazy shit that they've done this season in a year where, Auburn's been historically dominant with all of these quad one wins. The SEC is going to probably get 13 or 14 teams in. Cooper Flag is the biggest American basketball prodigy in a long time to come through college basketball. And, it's really been a great year for college basketball. And I can't wait for this tournament. And I can't wait to see where, St. John's gets placed, because that's going to be really telling of, how this is going to look going into, the later weeks of March, and obviously in April when we get the championship, the Final Four and the championship game in San Antonio this year. So this is going to be a lot of fun. But again, my biggest thing, pull for St. John's. If you're looking for a feel-good story in college basketball, pull for St. John's. And if depending on their draw in your bracket, I would pick them potentially to go to the Final Four. They are that damn good. This is not some like feel-good story and okay, they're Cinderella. This team could win the whole thing, or they could at least make it to the Final Four. I don't know if they could beat Auburn or Duke or some of these other teams, but they're one of the best teams in college basketball. And it's amazing what Rick Pitino has been able to do. Considering all his journey from Louisville and all the stuff that happened there, having to build his way back up to get to a big time job in St. John's, and he's done it, and he wins the Big East in his second year. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. We'll have a lot more coming here on the channel. Obviously, Selection Sunday. We'll have some basketball content here as well. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.